Now, some awful things happened in Nice recently over the weekend where 10 children were killed, and Sonia Kruger spoke about her feelings on this, which left me physically with my head in my hands, if you missed it.
There is a correlation between the number of people who are Muslim in a country and the number of terrorist attacks. Now, I want to feel safe, as all of our citizens do.
Just to clarify, Sonia, are you saying that you would like our borders closed to Muslims at this point?
Yes, I would. For the safety of the citizens here, I think it's important.
So you're sitting there watching the telly this morning. Sonia makes these comments, which, by the way, have gone absolutely off online. There are so many people that have very, very passionate things to say about this on either sides of the fence. And you put your head in your hands. Why?
Well, I tried to get my head around. So whenever these types of things affect me like this, and when I say me, she hasn't even offended me directly. But I often go in my head, all right, what's her argument? What's the other side? Just because I know we're going to come on the show and maybe discuss it, or we're going to be asked opinions on things. And I also am opinionated and want to follow these types of things because I don't want to live in a country that's racist. So this dialogue and this kind of stuff is important for us to get to the bottom of.
Totally.
So I go and I really try and look at all the different pieces. And when I try it, she goes on about she's a mother and all of this kind of stuff. You can check the video out online. It's everywhere if you wanted the whole lot. But I can't get my head around what she's saying. There is no side of hers in any capacity that I understand brings good from this. Fear, the way that fear works, it embodies war, it embodies hate, it embodies hurt. And essentially, these are the types of things that she's witnessed or read about in Nice. She's obviously also experienced them in different ways in our country, in all kinds of things, in war, over in, where we sent troops across, in all different World War I, World War II. That all comes from fear. It all comes from the same emotion. And so what she's kind of doing is, it's one for one. It's kind of encompassing something that she's so afraid of with the same approach.
Well, I get what you mean. Yeah, that eye for an eye mentality where
She's not saying to kill people.
No.
And she's not saying to go there. But this fear mentality, what drives terrorists, I don't know how it makes it okay for you to sit in the same emotion and then expect a different result.
But it is the hateful mentality that I suppose, that spreads terror, that spreads fear, and then to fight back with the terror and the fear with equal amounts of fear, which is ban a whole group of people that have been migrating to this country since the 1800s. It's not a new thing that there are Muslim people migrating to Australia, which there have been lots of people that have come out today. Jamila Rizvi is one of these people who's actually come out with hardcore facts, who said, well, this is actually it's not a new thing in this country to have Muslim people that have migrated and assimilated to our country.
Yeah, and Nazim Hussain, who's a comedian and a Muslim, says, what does he want? If my cousin wants to visit, is he supposed to pretend that he's non-Muslim? Where does that stop? Where does she think that plan or those kinds of words is going to encourage a better world for our children? I just don't understand that approach. And I want to open up the phones and speak to people that are okay with an opinion like this based on fear and still kind of agree with it, because the fear thing is what gets me, is that if we're starting to act on fear and we're starting to make decisions and opinions in public spaces like this from a place of fear and a place of that we don't respect the person next to us in a country that we've built, a multicultural country. This is our identity as this country. We're not Japan. We're not Paris. When, she makes all of these kind of comparisons to Japan, and the information's incorrect as well. They're not terror-free. 70s, there was all kinds of terrorism attacks, and a lot of them were non-Muslim, let me tell you.
Because a lot of her opinion was based on the fact that there are a lot of Muslims living in France, and that's why there is such a problem with terrorism, hence the terrorist attack.
But I guess this place of where you sit, where she's afraid for her daughter, she's afraid for her safety, doesn't mean that then you go on and put something out there which to me says bad taste, it says hate, it says terror. That is my idea of terror just as much as some of the terrorist things that we've witnessed. And that's an opinion, and I don't know how that sits, but I want to know if you're okay with an opinion like Sonia's and know that it's based on fear and you still stand by it.